On Wednesday, the New South Wales Government invited Sydneysiders to have a say in the redevelopment of Central Station to put it on a par with some of the grand stations of the world. However, the government has refused to rule out burying much of the station under a forest of residential and commercial skyscrapers as it looks to cram in even more people into the city's CBD. Minister for Transport and Infrastructure Andrew Constance said Central needed some urgent TLC as the 12 million people who currently use the terminal will skyrocket as it becomes a key interchange for the Sydney light rail and metro rail projects. More than 250,000 people use the station daily, but within 2 decades that figure is expected to reach 450. Central is the key gateway to Sydney and we want to unlock its potential, Mr. Constance said. New South Wales deserves a premier station that everyone can be proud of. One that's not just a place to pass through but a destination itself. Mr. Constance said the government was looking for the public to come forward with ideas about how to do up the 110-year-old station, parts of which, such as the Grand Concourse, are heritage listed. It's pretty clear when you compare it to the grand stations of the world. Central is falling short of what it could be offering customers and visitors to Sydney at the moment, he said. We could turn this into an incredible retail precinct. Some of these great stations, internationally, are places where people go to shop, not just travel through. The retail sector will have an incredible opportunity. However, critics have been alarmed by Mr. Constance's focus on retail rather than rail. Greens New South Wales Transport spokeswoman, Dr. Marine Farrucci told News.com. She welcomed making Central a more open and effective space, but passengers should come first. The Transport Minister seems to be more concerned about turning Central Station into a mini Westfield rather than focusing on the needs of commuters. Quote, Dr. Farrucci said, yet again, this government is putting private sector interests ahead of public transport needs. The railway station is at the heart of multi-billion-dollar Central to Eveleigh development, which will see thousands of new apartments and offices built across the railway lands stretching from Central south towards Redfern and the inner west. Artist impressions show a clutch of skyscrapers reaching right up to and over the platforms at Central, halting only at the heritage-listed Grand Concourse and landmark clock tower, potentially burying much of the station underground. This is despite grand stations across the world, including London's St Pancras and Liverpool Street and Melbourne's Southern Cross, precluding or even removing development from above the platforms to allow more light into the transport interchanges and make them more attractive for passengers. But Mr. Constance would not rule out the reverse happening at Central, saying only that the listed portions of the terminus were safe, which excludes most of the platforms and some of the buildings. Let's see what comes out of the consultation. But the first principle is protecting this incredible heritage precinct. We want to build on what's great that is already here and give it an incredible facelift. The scale of works for such a vast site have been estimated at least $500 million. But the minister would not commit to a figure or a timeline for the project. However, he did say any major works should coincide with construction of the Sydney Metro, which isn't expected to be completed until 2024. The consultation can be found on the Transport for New South Wales website. benedict.brook@news.com.au